Oppa Gundam style, everybody. Welcome to Welcome Robot, a podcast about Gundam. I'm Max. I use he, him pronouns, and with me today are...
Hi, I'm Dan. I use he, they pronouns.
I'm Yuria, she, her.
And these builders do be fighting. We're back at it. We're building and we're fighting, and we're getting there. We're getting there. As of this recording, we have 3 more episodes of Build Fighters coverage of this podcast left, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, it does make me wonder, I hope whoever is on, I am thinking about, Build Fighters Try, and, I mean,
I know, I'm trying to think, who is... I don't have the thing pulled up in front of me. I know that the people who are on for Build Fighters Try have been watching Build Fighters, and, like, they've seen it, and they know it.
All right.
Because, like, they know it's a sequel series.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure, split this... I mean, they're branded as separate, like, series, pretty much. They're not generally included. It's not like Iron-Blooded Orphan Season 1 and Season 2 aren't, like, branded differently.
Right. Yeah, there's like a big time skip between Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try.
Yeah.
There's Yeah.
So, but when we get there, we'll get there. And we're not going to do Build Fighters Try right after Build Fighters for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go ahead and go for, like, the 80s OVA Power Hour.
All right.
Ooh.
You heard it here first, folks. I think, and I'll have to talk with my co-hosts for it might be 08th MS Team next. We'll see. But I plan to do 08th MS Team and War in the Pocket and 0083 back to back to back. So that should be fun.
You won't be able to do War in Pocket in time for Christmas because it's a Christmas series.
It's okay. We didn't watch fucking Endless Waltz on Christmas either. It's all jazz. It's Christmas somewhere in the vast reaches of space. Well, I say we start talking about Gundam, because these episodes were very good. I like these quite a lot.
What a trio of episodes.
So, Yuria, I believe you have 16.
All right, episode 16. Dad, we meet again? Say needs to repair the Star Build Strike in 2 days before their next match, and Reggie wants to help, but he ends up storming out because Say adamantly refuses. Mr. Rawl suspects that Reggie is starting to want to build and admires that. And sure enough, we cut to Reggie eyeing Gunpla boxes, not sure what he wants to build. A scruffy man appears out of nowhere and decides to help decide what he's going to build. And our snooping white-haired lady from before is also there, so he also picks out a box for her. They respectively are chosen the Beginning Gundam and the Command Gundam, and goes through way too intense of a training regime for building Gunpla. Once they are done, Reggie tries out the Beginning Gundam in an AI match, but it turns out it's been invaded by the same Halcyon galaxy that he fought before in the race. Reggie's Gunpla is grappled, however the Command Gundam comes and rescues him, and the two of them destroy the Halcyon. The Ragged Man is suddenly gone and finds the pilot of the Halcyon, who is C, the letter C. And the man reveals himself to be Takeshi Iori, aka Sei's dad, who is not just a top-ranked Gunpla fighter, but also a Gunpla Battle official referee, and he apprehends C for 36 counts of Gunpla crime. Reggie comes back, and Sei notices the nippers that Reggie was given, and realizes that it was his dad, so he is in fact looking out for him still.
It's so funny to me that they speak about Takeshi in such vague terms for the entire runtime of this show that I was like, damn, did he die? Did he get, like, isekai'd to fucking Reiji's planet? No, he's just been chilling. He just didn't show up until now.
Well, it's a hard job promoting Gunpla to the wider world, you know?
I mean, that, and presumably he's been fighting not only C, but 25 other, like, Gunpla Mafia people around the world.
Gunpla crime. I'm fairly certain, based off the fact that Bandai has really put their foot down on counterfeit products.
Yeah, they saw C building like the fucking zero gravity judge, and like, oh, he just saw red and went after his ass.
Mm-hmm.
He ordered from Daban once, and then Takashi had to like send in the hounds. God,
Wanted dead or alive for Gunpla crimes.
Gunpla crimes. I don't remember this spin-off of Law and Order. Slager Law and Order. There it is.
I love this like cold open that's just like a very increasingly larger than life dream sequence.
It's so good because like the first shot of it is it's Sei going to this weird like mobile home apartment thing that his dad's staying in, which is the exact shot from 007 when Amuro finally like meets his dad for the first time in the series, like after the beginning.
Oh no!
And I was like, Takashi, don't hand him that nasty USB drive. But no, he hands him nippers and they fly into space as there's like a Gunpla parade going on.
Here, Sei, this will boost your Gunpla's capabilities, except I guess in this case it actually would.
Yeah, I was gonna say here, have a pair of God hand nippers, and then he just gets better at Gunpla building.
I love that they just fly into the sky.
Yes.
The sequence of the mobile suits dancing too.
It's so great, and it's all 007-9 suits. Like you see a Zaku 2 and a Goof and a Zagok, and then you see the Gundam and the gun tank and the gun cannon, and they're all doing like I'm almost certain, based on the way they were dancing, this is some kind of like traditional Japanese like festival dance.
Mm-hmm. Seems like way.
But they're flying over. There's like a giant illuminated Haro. They're flying over. It's so cute.
Yeah, I love that the gun tank doesn't really have like opposable arms, so he just like moves them up and down.
He just kind of wiggles. Yeah, I mean, when your fingers are giant like gun barrels, you can't do much with it.
He's trying.
He's trying his best.
We love the gun tank.
He's nice.
I do love the gun tank.
I saw so I live in this is just a tiny little aside. I live in Virginia, and Virginia is like I think pretty much the easiest state in the US to get vanity plates because it costs like a whopping $10 extra when you're doing your registration. And my work friend saw a license plate that was RX-75-4, and I'm like, oh my god, there is a real gun tank vanguard here in my state.
Hell yeah.
They got like if Virginia only has 7 characters, I wish I could get MSN 042 Roman numerals so I could have like the Nightingale model number on my plate. But instead it says Kaiba because of my Yu-Gi-Oh predilections.
I mean, I think Kaiba's the better choice, but
Kaiba's really here. The thing is, it's really fucking funny that my license plate is just Kaiba.
You wouldn't be able to get away with that in California.
Oh god, no! Yeah, I'd show up on that Twitter account.
DMV bot.
You DMV. Sorry,
DMV denied.
DMV mobile suit. We get the OP, and honestly, it's growing on me a bit. I like this now. I think it's getting better the more I listen to it. That's true for like almost every OP I listen to, though, I think.
Yeah, that's how it goes with OPs.
It's not bad or anything. It's just I specifically have not really had any like anime that where the second opening is like, yeah, I like this better than the first, except for like Naruto, the original.
I mean, for me, it's Zeta Gundam, where the first opening is good, and the second Zeta opening is like my second favorite anime opening of all time. And not because it sounds like Careless Whisper, as many reasons. So it's day 10 of the tournament. We're in the round of 16, and there's kind of like a 3-day gap to prepare. Kirara's on TV interviewing Zomer, who's just talking about how Fellini is cringe and fail and he sucks shit, and Kirara is a fool for being interested in a man like him.
Boo the fool.
And who is watching but Rinka? She's going to be visiting her son.
Yeah, it's nice. She's closing up the shop and getting ready. She's like kind of daydreams of being interviewed by a bunch of people for being married to the second, like the runner-up of the last Gunpla champion and like father or mother of Sei in the round of 16. And she's like, oh, you know, I just hope he'd grow up and to be a kind and honest boy. And everyone's just like crowding around her, you know, interviewing her. It's very cute little like dream sequence here.
I mean, she's probably used to that kind of reaction to her because everyone loves her.
Yeah, I love Rinko. And she just runs. I don't know, like, we don't see her take a car or anything. She just fucking, like, sprints off. I like to imagine she ran all the way there.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
rules. We see Reiji and Sei in the room, and Reiji feels bad because, you know, the Star Build Strike got, like, just completely fucking obliterated when they fought Fellini. So he wants to kind of, like, help Sei repair it, and they start arguing, because, like, Reiji doesn't really seem to, like, know what Sei is going through when he has to repair it every single time, and they, like, both grab it and, you know, give me it, no, you let go, and the head pops off, and Reiji just kind of, like, storms off.
I couldn't tell if the horn broke or not, because, like, if it did.
I'm pretty sure it was already broken, and honestly, the head popping off, it's a ball joint. It's supposed to do that. That's the easiest thing to fix. It's literally meant to do that.
No, it takes me 2 seconds to pop it back in. Get out of my room.
I mean, I guess that really shows how little Reiji knows about Gunpla, that he thinks that he beheaded it, and he's like, fuck, I gotta leave. So he's gonna get, like, China and Raul to come in and help him repair it. And, like, as Reiji storms off, like, Raul comments that, oh, well, you know, maybe this will be good for him, because now he's gonna go out and, like, because he's like, I'm gonna go build a Gunpla myself. He's kind of like, you know, to see what it's like for Sei, and Raul's like, oh, it'll be good for him. He'll understand. He'll know what you go through. Little does he know what he has in store for him.
Isla is Isla is getting herself some big ice cream.
A Japanese specialty. Big ice cream.
It's very exotic.
She says exotic Japan, as she has an ice cream that's like 6 inches tall. It's just like it's literally like vanilla soft serve.
I mean, if you have real vanilla, then yes, it is good. Like,
that's true. I like to think she's more like Tom Brady in that she has this, like, insane superhuman, like, diet and regimen and everything, and, like, much like how Tom Brady's never eaten a blueberry, Isla's never eaten ice cream before.
Yeah, I believe that. Like, like they're giving her, like, protein shakes and giving her protein shakes and blocks of meat. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they blend up the Gunpla nubs to reinforce her from the inside.
Jesus.
Become one with the Plavsky particles.
She's on that microplastic diet. She sees a girl, like, walking with her mom, and then she just kind of, like, thinks back to, I guess, being an orphan? We don't really know Isla's backstory.
Yeah, she seems to have been, like, homeless. But she sees Reiji at the mall and, like, decides to follow him.
He's just in a Gunpla store. He's looking, and I whenever I see these shots, they're very lovingly made, because you can read every single box, and you can see, like, you know, it's all HGUC, and you can see the number and everything like that. It's cute.
And he's looking at all the Zakus, and he wonders, what's even the difference between all of them?
God forbid you ask Reddit.
Oh, God.
He finds Lala Sune's mobile suit.
He's like, is that what it's called? He's, like, holding, like, a very old Elmeth model.
Yeah, I really enjoy whenever they put in, like, the original non-grade kits.
Yeah, like when Raul got his ass handed to him when he fought like a whatever it was called, like the original Gunpla run of the goof. And then a man who's clearly in some sort of disguise walks in.
Yes. A man with very thick dark hair and a very big beard is here. He's just another Gunpla fan who travels the world, here for the tournament. And he's going to, like, help him choose out the perfect Gunpla.
Yeah. He finds the beginning Gundam for Reiji, and we know it because we watched the OV or the ONA.
Yeah.
And he sees Isla, like, peering in from, like, the outside, and, like, you know, no one's noticed her yet, and he's like, and you, the girl who's peeking in from outside, you should get a command Gundam. And he hands her, like, the original, like, SD command Gundam.
I should get the BB Sunshine command Gundam. That's a neat little thing.
Apparently for the latest, what the fuck Gundam game was, like the SD Gundam Battle Alliance game, there was this edition that came with a triple pack of the three biggest unique SD Gundams there. There's, like, the Knight Gundam that we saw earlier, the Command Gundam, and the Musha Gundam, like, all SD. And it was like a there's a lot of stickers on those things. But the Command Gundam's cool. I like that it's a cool color scheme. I like that we have like that Quanta Command that came out with the Battlelog series, because it's cool seeing it in like actual Gundam proportions and not like little chibi SD proportions.
Yeah, it kind of shocked me at first to see that the Command Gundam SD version came first.
Yeah. And he's going to put on a clinic for these two kids, because they don't know, neither of them know how to build Gunpla, because, they both have, Reiji has Sei, and Isla has her entire team. We're just building kits for them to use. And it's also very obvious that he's Sei's dad, because he has the exact same, like, sparkly eyes whenever he starts to geek out about Gunpla. It's in the genes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like building their Gunpla, and he's like being very like drill sergeant-y as he instructs them.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it. Don't make it into that harsh of a training. That's just building.
He makes them say, "Sir, yes, sir." And he we get, and it reminded me a lot of Builders Beginning G, with like how they show how to build a Gunpla. Like, he's like, "Oh, I recommend making 2 cuts. One further out and one closer to it once you get it off the runner." And, they have nippers and sandpaper, and Reiji's like really, really bad with the nippers. Like his hands are just shaking like crazy. And honestly, the first time I built it, I was the same way. I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck it all up. I can't keep steady for this at all." I get it.
Yeah, I remember having so much trouble like putting together like the little bits.
It's all about that bits, but they eventually they put them together. They just flat built totally fine, and this guy, he gives them the nippers and the sandpaper, as a congratulations for their first build. And then Reiji's like, "Oh, he seems really normal now." And then he starts going really enthusiastic, talking about, "And now you can panel line it and top coat it and yada yada yada." It's cute. This is how I feel now.
To be fair, panel lining, it does require kind of that kind of discipline, but
it's like you can build a thing just fine, but the first time I panel lined, like I literally picked an old kit I don't really care about, because I was like, I know I'm just gonna fuck this up so bad, and I did. Because panel lining is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, that's why I did it on the entry grade Gundam for my first time.
You gotta do something simple.
It's an $8 kit. It's not going to be that bad if I ruin it.
I have a spare HGUC, just like straight up Gundam Revive. Because one day I want to get a little scribing pen and practice that. It's nice to add a little bit of details.
I should pick up a Revive at some point too for the more like slightly more detailed stuff.
It is nice, but the problem is it does the little like V in the crotch is just a sticker. It's not like yeah, I know. That's all. I'm like, fuck, I gotta paint it now. And it has like a weird like black outline around the V too. Like it looks very stickery. I don't like it.
But $10 for that kit, so gotta cost somewhere.
You might as well. But we cut from that to Mashita. He's like leaving the Gunpla Island, and he's telling Baker to like take care of the boys while he's out. I'm pretty sure he's in the fucking giant golden limo that Dorothy Catalonia drove in Gundam Wing.
I love this giant golden limo.
This is like a limousine's limousine. This thing is monstrous. Actually, I need to episode 16. I need to find this out, because I'm like almost certain that where's the Dad We Meet Again? It's trivia. I gotta find this out. Chairman Mashita's gold limousine is the same as Dorothy Catalonia's from New Mill Report Gundam Wing. That's right. I mean, I did watch that show like earlier this year, so it's fresh in my mind, but it's hard to not miss a giant golden limo, right?
Yeah. Niels is like spying on them.
He's still in his ninja getup.
Gives them a huge stealth bonus.
Yeah. He has the matching armor. He's like the fucking Skyrim enchantment on
it. The assistant lady, I don't remember if she had a name, is like, Baker, is calling a mysterious individual to just sort of help with this shady business dealing. And of course, it's Mr. C.
Yay! I honestly thought it would be a different Gunpla Mafia guy, but like, I guess we get to see C get his ass kicked a second time, so it works out.
Yeah.
He has his pride on the line.
Yeah, he got beaten by He was Raul the first time, and now it's just like a referee the second time. And we see C is watching Reiji and Isla build their kits. And he what is it? Oh, that's right. Reiji kind of, before we go to the next scene, Reiji kind of like thinks about this bearded man and is like, this guy reminds me a lot about Sei. I wonder why that is. And back at Sei's room, Sei and China, like they finish fixing up the star build, and Sei and China, there's some moment where like they like kind of awkwardly think about spending time together, and like Rambaral's eyes fucking glow, and he's like, I will take her home at a reasonable time. I'm glad he did that and not the weird hemorrhoids joke again.
Yeah. He breaks this up. Sei gets so nervous he bows immediately and spills the glass of orange
appy juice. Sei, you spilled your appy juice. That's so sad.
Pour one out for Sei, because he poured his out.
Because he did.
Yeah.
Pour another out. We cut back to Reiji and Isla, and they finish panel lining and top coating. Honestly, hey, they shouldn't. Don't top coat in like just a regular unventilated room. You wouldn't spray paint. It's basically that. Don't do it. I do that shit outside, and it still stinks to high heaven.
Yeah, this Gunpla store just it's heavy with fumes.
You can. It smells like fucking new types up in here. Reiji, of course, wants to battle the new kit he built, and Isla's like, I don't know how to Gunpla battle.
What's a Gunpla?
What? Oh, is this a Gunpla? I'm just going along with the flow. The bearded man says, well, hey, you can do a computer match. Come with me. And he takes him to the Plavsky machine. And they're in space. I think they're in Solomon? Or maybe Axis. Or maybe a Boaku. It's some fucking, it's a space fortress. And no, it is Solomon. That's right, it's Solomon. Anyway, Reiji's flying around, he's loving it. And then we see the Hell Zeong again. We didn't get enough of this guy when he was underwater. Now he's just like the space Zeong. He's a lot more like, he's not as tentacly, but and his arms are like the regular Zeon beam fingers and not like the claws they were before. But instead of that weird kind of like massive tentacles under the skirt, it's just basically like another set of arms that turn into like big old like claw grabby hands. So it still doesn't have legs, but it has 4 arms to make up for that.
What's better than the perfect Zeong? 2 arms and 2 more arms.
the perfecter Zeong. He gets his ass kicked by this thing at first, and this is the realization Reggie is like, oh, that's what Sei has to go through every time that the Gunpla gets destroyed in battle. I understand it now. I can empathize.
Haven't even rebuilt it yet. How can you?
Yeah, he's very quick to come to this conclusion. And the bearded man, as Reiji charges the Hell Zeong, he's like, do you need to defeat him the same way Amuro defeated Char and the Zeong? So he's charging in close, and then the leg arms like grab the beginning Gundam, and the bearded man's like, oh shit, the Zeong didn't have legs in the anime. Sorry, that one's on me, man. My bad.
You suck, Takashi.
Yeah. But this is when Isla comes in, and she's like, I'll help you, and she fires the missiles, and they blow up, they like are back to back, and the finger beams both fire at them, and they like dodge out of the way, so they fingers blow each other up, and they blow the legs up, and then Isla does a cool like armor purge, like where all the armor blasts off the command Gundam, and then she charges it with just like a Bowie knife.
Hell yeah.
This thing's covered in missiles and lasers, the most effective weapon, a fucking little tiny knife.
Yeah, they go at him from both ends, and just blow up this Gunpla. They like celebrate. They do a little. They like do a little like hand grab thing.
Yeah.
They're doing the Predator handshake. And
yeah, they're doing the fucking Sig Curtis Armstrong Full Metal Alchemist handshake.
Like Isla almost lets on who she is. She's like, "Who do you think I am?" And
who are you?
They beat him, and she goes, "Who do you think you are? I am."
we established in the next episode, she hasn't even told Reggie her name yet.
Yeah, it's so funny. She's so good at keeping this secret. Oh my god, it's astounding. And they realize, hey, wait, where'd the bearded guy go? And we cut to the bathroom, and it's funnier for me to imagine that C was piloting this Gunpla while he was shitting. But Takeshi walks into the bathroom and he sees C in there, and he rips off the beard and the wig, and he's like, I'm Takeshi Iori, I'm an international Gunpla tournament referee, and I'm gonna arrest you for 36 Gundam crimes. That's so many crimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Say, your dad's a cop.
Yeah, Say, you need to denounce this man immediately. No longer valid.
The gun police.
It's one thing that your dad
He's the gun police.
It's one thing your dad isn't around that much, but he's also a cop. It's worse than finding out your
behavior.
It's like that one my brother and me skit with Detective Jigsaw.
Yeah.
One more thing, you're also under arrest.
God, basically. And C, like, goes in to punch Iori, and he judo throws him, just, like, fucking lands him head first into a urinal. Really,
yeah.
Fucking piss face.
He got a humiliation kill.
Don't do Gunpla crimes, kids. Otherwise, you'll
that's what happens.
In the journal.
If you order from Japan, you're gonna get urinal waterboarded. And later that night, Reiji comes back to the room, and he shows Sei and China and Rala's Gunpla, and they're all whoa, they're gawking over it, and Sei is like, you built this yourself? And Reiji's like, well, I had some help from a guy, and he gave me this, and he shows him the green sprue cutters, and Sei's like, Father! He recognizes it. I guess it's the same kind that Iori just has, like, a trench coat full of these things that he gives out to random Gunpla fans around the world, I think.
I mean, the cheapest God hands are like $10, so...
That is true, yeah. I have, like, the fucking... I forget what exactly they're called. Does it say on these? I have the SPN 120s. That's, like, the $60, like, cut like butter pair. And Sei is like, Dad, I know you're out there. And we see Sei's dad and C and, like, just some other Gunpla referee, I guess, in a car on the highway driving away from the tournament. And C's just like, oh, my son, I'm sorry, I couldn't... He's, like, thinking this to himself. He's not saying this to Sei, but he's like, my son, I'm watching you from afar because I'm a cop. Goodbye.
Yeah. Sei, like, thinks to himself, well, I can't wait to see him again someday. And we get the ED, we get the post-credit scene where Rinko is here, and he's, like, realizing, oh no, this means the store's unattended. And also, if Dad's here, and we cut back to Sei's dad at the hobby shop, and it's been closed down. So he's just so upset that he can't see his loving wife and son.
Yeah, I have a poster board in front of me. Takeshi Iori, cons, is a cop. Pros, is a wife guy. It's very hard to reconcile these two things.
And most of the people entering are wife guys anyway. Like, Mr. Raw's clearly a wife
that's
guy.
Right. You're no Rao. Exactly. Exactly. Fuck you,
You're not
Takeshi.
my real dad.
You're not my real dad. This episode, though, pretty funny. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fine. This next one, though, holy fuck. You want to take this, Dan?
Mm-hmm. All right, so episode 17, Model of the Heart. In the cold open, Mao recounts his early childhood and how he excelled at Gunpla building and fighting. He thought he was the greatest Gunpla fighter ever until he saw the man who would become his master fight, teaching him that there is always a bigger fish. After the OP, we are told that today is the second day of the first proper day of the finals. Sei and Reiji are late. They rush to the arena and learn that their first match will be against Mao. Later that day, Niels and Fellini complete their matches, which were total cakewalks. Niels looks at the bracket and sees that his next opponent will be either Reiji or Mao, whoever wins. Mao thinks to himself about a possible strategy to use against Sei and Reiji, but comes to the conclusion that there is none. We are treated to more flashbacks to Mao's apprenticeship under the Shingyo school. It turns out his master is also quite a child at heart. A lot of their training involves classic Japanese kids activities like hunting for bugs. Shingyo shows off a cool trick that he uses to defeat all his enemies. Mao desperately wants to learn the trick, but Shingyo insists that in order to truly excel, Mao must develop his own ways. Mao returns to Osaka to beg Shingyo to teach him the trick. So, Shingyo has the two of them dress in gi and fight. Mao attempts to fight, but every attack results in Shingyo effortlessly judo throwing Mao. As Mao lies in the grass and rain, unable to move, Shingyo asks if he has given up. Mao finds the determination to keep fighting, and we cut to another flashback. Mao asks his master who his favorite female Gundam character is. It's Murray Ramius, I don't know how to pronounce that, who notably features jiggle physics. Mao calls him dirty for this, but Shingyo admits there really is no complicated reason to like a character, and he just likes her. Mao in the present reflects on this, and the next morning he returns to the arena where Misaki has come to watch. Misaki from the In episode. It's time for the Gunpla battle. Mao has to rush in because he is late, because he had to come in all the way from Osaka, and the three begin their battle. Mao is going all out. He's firing shot after shot of his moon cannon, and it's a mystery how he's able to get all this energy, but as a scan turns out, he has reflector panels that absorb solar energy, giving him as much energy as he needs to keep firing. The battle continues. It is intense. Mao is fighting with everything he has. Ultimately, he must perform his ultimate technique, where he gets both the energy from the sun and the moon, and his Gunpla starts glowing red, and he gets a huge energy sword. Meanwhile, Sei and Reiji go G mode and go after him with just a build knuckle, just one big punch. The two struggle, and ultimately it is, of course, Sei and Reiji who win. After the fight, Mao leaves the arena. He walks past Misaki, who he doesn't respond to. He just gives a little wave, and he starts crying. Shingyo meets up with him. They talk for a moment, and Mao reveals that he now wants to build an even better Gunpla. That is ending the episode. And in our post-credits scene, Sei and Reiji also reflect on their intense battle. Glad that Mao was able to fight to his best. But as it turns out, Long Dallara has lost horribly to these mysterious twins who have been also in the tournament this whole time. And that ends the episode.
It's fucking good. I'm glad we're at the point in the show when, like, it's the final tournament, so everyone gets their kind of, like, last fight together.
Uh-huh.
It's, I guess, like, them fighting Fellini was the first of it, because, like, looking at the bracket, they're not going to fight that guy, because he's definitely going to lose to Isla. So I'm very excited for us to get, like, I'm predicting it, and it's the easiest, home run to make. They're going to fight, they fight Mao, and then they're going to fight Nils, and then they're going to fight Isla, then they're going to fight Kawaguchi in the finals. But, oh man, I'm excited, because if this fight's anything to go by, it's going to be pretty cool. And the very first thing we see is an XS Gundam, like that Mao as a kid built, and I was just hooting and hollering over it. It's just anything from Sentinel is so cool. I love to see it.
Yeah. I gotta say, all these Mao flashbacks just got me thinking about how the anime trope of like when like someone like is about to die, so we find out their entire backstory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because like, yeah, he's baby in this. He's even babier than he currently is, and he built this S Gundam, and everyone's excited for it. And he's like, he was like, oh, I was really feeling myself. I was winning battles. We see it just obliterate a bound dock. Very sad. And then he sees his master fight, and his master, I want to say, is using the Kowloon Gundam from G, and he just destroys like 6 aquatic mobile suits with like enough energy to basically displace the entire ocean and just have it rain back down on them. And Mao is like, that's when I realized I had a lot to learn, and there's always someone better than you. After he sees this guy just like obliterate everything with one cool pose.
Yeah. And he's like doing a little victory pose at the end.
Yeah, it's nice. I think, let's see, the guy's name is Chinon, I believe. But yeah, he's the Shingyo guy.
Yeah.
And we see Rinko wakes the boys up. It's the day of the round of 16. They need to run and see like what the brackets are going to be. And as they're running, because they're late, it's like 11 a.m., say it's like, oh, when humans evolve to be new types, we can control time and we won't be repeating the same mistakes. As Rage is just like, can you run faster, dude?
We got 2 Lala references in 2 episodes. What's going on?
Oh, no. And we see, of course, their first opponent is none other than Mao. Fellini and Nils talk about how they both have easy first rounds. But Fellini has to fight Isla after his first round, and Nils will have to fight whoever wins between Mao and Sei and Reiji after his. So it's going to be really tough battles after this.
I've gone to the part of it where it shows like the final tournament bracket, and I am very entertained by looking at the scoreboard, just because basically everyone who's like important is against like a nameless jobber, except like like we've got Isla against a guy from Australia named Peter Morris. Let's see, there's
Electronic Arts Peter Moore is in the tournament.
We've got these like in the upper right corner, it's all just like people we don't really know, just so we can like have the important characters fight.
Right.
It's great.
You're not here to see these losers.
Yeah.
No one cares about Patrick Mannequin from Ireland.
Patrick Mannequin's such a fucking good name, though. That is such a Gundam ass name.
From the Great British Republic is John Ayers Mackenzie.
Sure, why not? God, it's great. We see Mao after this. He's like under a tree on a bench, just kind of like hat over his face, thinking, theory crafting how the hell to beat Star Build. And like at every turn, he's like, I can't do it. I need to get stronger. He can't imagine any winning moves. And he thinks back to when he was a kid, asking Chinon how to do his cool special finisher move. And the old man wouldn't tell him, and all he would do is just kind of train with him, doing like these like very like traditional playtime activity, menial labor type things. Like they're catching fish and they catch beetles. At one point, they both like customize a Gunpla to look like a beetle. Like Chinon has a ball that's a beetle, and Mao has like an SD Zaku that's a beetle. It's so cute. I want these so bad. And as they're kind of like heading home for the night, the boys in Raw, they see Mao's running somewhere. And we see him, he's taking a train all the way back to Osaka.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has time for this.
I mean,
if he invests in public transportation, he has plenty of time.
They do famously have the extremely fast train. There's but yeah, we get like more flashbacks. We see Chinon?
Yeah.
Chinon, like, doing the fucking cool trick where he makes a big explosion around him with his Gunpla.
It's his secret special technique.
Mm-hmm.
He won't teach Mao it because he talks about how Gunpla is all about imagination and originality. There's no right answer. You just have to model the ideal that lies within your heart, which is a really useful way of saying nothing important.
And then we see like Mao return, and explain, just sort of beg to learn the trick from him.
Mm-hmm. And his master's just like, he's like, can you please teach me? And he just goes, okay, I'll teach you a little. And by teaching, he's just going to throw his ass in the, like, judo throw his ass in the dirt as enough to make Mao cry and it start to rain.
It's very heavy.
He's just like, he says, I won't teach your head, but I'll teach your body. So he's kicking his butt. And this is such an anime-ass trope of, learning through something completely unrelated, and what you learn is just a very basic concept of have fun and enjoy yourself. But it still works because it's Gunpla show. It's funny and cute and very shonen, very tropey.
And it's especially funny because Mao wakes up to a note saying, I'm tired, I'm leaving.
Yeah! It's great.
Yeah.
And as he's like, before he wakes up and passes out, he thinks back to what his master tells him. And at one point when he was younger, he asks his master, who's best girl? And Mao, genius that he is, says Emma Sheen from Zeta Gundam. 10 out of 10 choice, my man. Delightful. You got it in one. And Chinon says, mine is Murue Ramius from Gundam Seed because Booba. That's the reason. I mean, Mao is like, oh, you old pervert. But what he says is, honestly, as again, and I know I just said it's very tropey, but I kind of like it too, where he just says, you don't need a reason to like it. You just need to like it. And as he like wakes up and is mad that his master just kind of does whatever he likes and left early, without finishing the training, he's like, oh, and he understands. He figured it out.
Yeah.
He figured out that he lost his zest for dueling.
Listen to Pot of Greed. I do love this like shot of just a bunch of like women from Gundam, just a bunch of Figmas, and he like looks at the ones of like the of Ramius. It's great.
Like it's a Gunpla Girls episode because I think I forgot to mention it. In Chinon's like, I almost said office, Jesus, in like the dojo, there's like this big old shelf of him, and it's like all this. It's very heavily customized Gundams, like way more than what you see in the show, because these are kind of customized to a theme. Like I think there's one that's kind of like an Oni. It has that sort of tiger stripe loincloth and like a horn and a big club. Like they're very interesting kind of kit bashes and customizations, and this is when Mao realizes that like it's just about having fun. So we cut back to the arena, and Chinon, she's like looking around, and she sees Misaki, of all people, here, and she figures, oh, she's here to watch Mao fight. So they kind of all go and sit next to each other, and the boys are waiting for Mao to arrive, and of course he comes in real late. And the battle begins, and of course it has to be. The field is space, because otherwise Mao wouldn't have been able to use his cool bullshit. But he just starts blasting the satellite cannon out the gate. Like, no charge up. Like, the battle begins, and it's just immediate. Bah! But again, hey, good tactic. I would not expect that from the very beginning. He's able to charge that real fast.
Yeah, and they find out, the reason he can do this is he's got these reflector panels that just absorb solar energy.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen X. I don't think the Gundam X, I think it's just like the satellite cannon. I don't know if the solar panels absorb solar power. I could be wrong, but it seems very novel in the context of the show, so I don't think it does this normally in the show. But Mao's able to like destroy the absorption shield right away, which is great. And Mao's loving it, and they're all having a really good time. They keep on like destroying each other's weapons, and they're enjoying the battle to the fullest. And even Chinon is in the crowd. That's why he left early, to take the train up to wherever the fuck Gundam Island is. Mm-hmm. And Ral talks to him.
I think it's in Tokyo.
Yeah. I like the match. It's Gundam Island to me.
It is kind of funny to me that he didn't bring Mao with him, though, to the tournament he's supposed to be
right?
Uh-huh.
He wanted Mao to figure it out for himself. Yeah, he wanted Mao to figure it out for himself. But Rao talks to Chinon, and Chinon talks about how, he was blinded by victory, and he's learned to fight battles with an unclouded heart now. That's the secret. That's the secret of the Shingyo school. The innermost mystery is just to have fun. And I guess, again, Chinon has fun and clears his mind by thinking of Gundam women. More power to you, I guess. More normal than the average Gundam Redditor about that, I suppose.
Uh-huh. Some people just love women, and that gives them the strength.
Whenever I'm losing a battle, I just think of my wife, and that's how I win.
Lesbians, what's the secret to your power? Women.
Not
Of course.
Didn't think of that. Mao, he activates his solar system, he starts glowing blue, and then he gets hit by the satellite laser as well from the moon, which makes all of the glowy bits on him glow red, and he pulls out just this fuck-off huge sword. It's just the Mao sword is what he calls it. And in the kind of hierarchy of cool things, a gigantic blazing energy sword is really high up there. Unfortunately for Mao, Sei and Reiji activate RG into the build knuckle, so their response is to punch the sword. So by law of how cool things are, like, you simply can't compete with punching a sword. It's really cool. They literally just straight up fucking like punch it, and it's like, they're clashing, and like you see cracks form on the Mao, and like sparks are shooting out of the star build, and eventually they just punch the sword apart and like go in for this like final uppercut as the screen like fades to light from a distance. You don't see what happens, but it's pretty obvious because Mao's not happy after this.
We don't need to see this poor kid's heartbreak.
Yeah, I was like genuinely surprised because I figured he'd be like, "Oh man, I tried my best." No, he's like fucking sobbing about it. I guess he is like 13 years old probably.
Yeah, he is still a kid.
He's baby. Like, Misaki sees him, and she was like, "You were really cool," and he kind of, like, waves with his back turned to her, and you, like, see his smile, like, turns to a frown as soon as he walks past her. And the master walks up after him and is like, that match was really, really awesome, and a battle that interesting is why I could never quit Gunpla. And this is when Mao is like, he's, like, crying, and his nose is all red, and he's like, "I'm gonna build a better Gunpla, just you wait." Yeah. So he's fine now. It took him like all of 2 minutes to get over his crushing defeat. And then we get a quick little post credits of Sei and Reiji. They're like, they're tired, they're reeling from their match. They know Mao's going to come back even stronger, and the match they were kind of watching when they were in the corridor just ends very quickly, and we see Dalara's Abigorbain just completely in pieces after the Renato brothers win.
Yeah.
What could have happened? The poor little bug got destroyed.
Real sad.
We'll find out right now.
Episode 18. Bloodhounds. We flash back to the battle between Luong and the Renato brothers, in which we see Luong be handily defeated by the brothers Jim Sniper K9. No one knows how they were able to destroy Dalara's Abigorbain so easily, and this win gives them confidence that they can easily take down their next opponent, Meijin Kawaguchi. Before the brothers battle Kawaguchi, we see Mao brag about going on a date with Misaki, which prompts Sei to ask China on a date, but they are distracted by Ayla, who they have never properly met. Still disguising her identity, she introduces herself as Aina and has a meal with Sei, China, and Reiji when Mao walks in after getting rejected by Misaki because he jumped the gun and tried to kiss her. It's now time for the match. The Renato brothers seem to be one step ahead of Kawaguchi at every turn, deploying an automated backpack to put Meijin in the pincer maneuver, removing his weapon packs. He's forced to retreat into an abandoned arena where the brothers' 144 scale Zeong troops attach bombs to the Meijin's comfer to try and blow it up. He anticipated this, however, and his greased joints simply flung the bombs off the comfer. He's able to move the battle to his discarded weapon packs, where he uses his Gatling gun to defeat the brothers Jim in his backpack, winning the match. Oh, it was good.
I gotta say, I'm relieved realizing it's just the joints that got greased up.
Yeah, he didn't dunk his whole fucking Gundam in extra virgin olive oil. Hey, you'd be pretty hard to nail down. It'd be pretty slippery.
I also gotta say, this whole time I was like expecting that they would have been cheating, but no, it's just a really weird strategy.
It's a far funnier. It's like the best possible way they could have been doing this. It cracked me up.
Tiny little Xeon soldiers. That's great.
Like, because the thing is, the Plevsky particles animate the Gunpla. The 144 scale soldiers, this a solid piece of plastic.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did this.
I'm guessing he used, like, the, one of the 8th MS team kits that has, like, the little tanks and soldiers. Like, specifically the soccer one, I guess, because that's Xeon.
Because, like, you do see they're a solid piece of plastic. I guess they're posed such that they can hold a tiny little, Gunpla bomb. But as the episode starts, we see Luong. He loses because he's, like, flying in his Abagorbine. He's getting shot out by that Jim Sniper K9. He fires a bunch of missiles to, like, kind of flush out the Jim. And he's like, you're good at sniping, but I'm better at close combat. And then, like, his suit just, like, explodes into a trillion pieces. Mm-hmm. Very strange. And yeah, they do a good job making you think it's cheating. Because, again, like, no one knows what happened. Like, you just see the brothers being, can you hold him here for 20 seconds? And I guess that 20 seconds is all they needed for the little guys to fly out and set some explosive charges on the Abagorbine. But again, we don't know that yet.
So far, most of the cheating has been, like, which episode was it? Episode 2? And then, like, any sabotage against Saint Reggie. Yeah,
there's not, like, cheating. Like, people haven't been, like, illegally modifying their Gunpla. Because I guess you're just allowed to do whatever, because we know that Say put, like, a metal barrel inside his beam rifle.
Yeah.
So, the brothers, they win, and they're kind of feeling themselves, and they're like, yeah, people are talking about the Meijin Kawaguchi, like, he's not so bad, like, we're gonna win, and then we're gonna be the most popular Gunpla fighters in the world. We're just gonna show him that he's not worthy of the Meijin title. They're very, like, I don't know if they have history with the previous Meijin, but they really fucking hate that guy, it seems.
They specifically mentioned the second one, so...
Yeah. We come back. We see Mao, who's just back to normal now. He's his normal bubbly self. He says he's gonna stick around till the end of the tournament. He wants to help out, and he's gonna go on a date with Misaki to the hobby center.
Yeah.
Telling my wife, honey, we're gonna go on a date, and I just take her to fucking, like, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I'm taking my GF to GameStop.
I mean, I kind of wish I did go to Hobby Town with my Polycule, but...
Mm-hmm. That would be good.
I've been informed, like, my coworkers, they go to a lot of different hobby shops for the Digimon card game, so whenever they go, they tell me about new places to check out, and now I have, like, 10 stores to find in the area.
Mm-hmm.
After Sei hears Mao talk about going on a date, and China's like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? He, like, tries to work up the courage to ask China out, when Isla just kind of comes in and starts gawking at the food very loudly, and they're like, hey, we haven't been introduced yet. Who the hell are you?
She's, Aina. Aina.
Yeah.
And Sei just picks up on that, like, oh, just like from 8th MS team.
Yeah, Aina Sahali, I know you. And China's like, why are you here? And she's like, oh, I'm here to watch Gunpla. And Reiji says, but you said you were interested in Gunpla. And she's like, well, I'm watching my friend. And they start arguing, and then Sheena is, like, trying to defeat the situation and says, you want ice cream? And they both very angrily go, yes! It's cute. Let's see. We see Kawaguchi and Alan. They're, like, watching the replay of Dalara's match with the brothers, trying to, like, figure out how the hell they did it. And Kawaguchi's not paying that much attention to it, but he's just kind of really excited because he actually gets to fight with all of his strength for once, because he knows that they're just very good opponents. And honestly, I'm surprised that these guys are actually, like, I mean, like, they have an entire episode dedicated to them, but, like, they're kind of built up to be a threat. I would have assumed that they were just, like... It was only Dalara in that whole lineup of people winning around the world to get into the finals. Like, these guys are legit.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, he's like, the Meijin Kawaguchi is, like, thinking about how this has got to be, like, some elaborate thing. There's got to be a trick to this. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna win. And we see, like, the, Renato brothers, just sort of chilling. One of them's drinking a beer called Superfly.
Yeah, he is. He's cracking open a gold one.
Just flashback to Daikatana now.
Oh, God.
I can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
Oh God. And then we cut back to the restaurant where like the kids are, Reiji and Isla have eaten like a Goku portion of ice cream. There's like 20 bowls stacked up on the table, and Mao kind of like pops in behind them all dejected, and he kind of tells them what happened, where he just ran up and tried to kiss Misaki, and she just slapped his head clean off.
Of course.
Which, hey, Mao, you can't act like that. It's gonna happen again.
It's your first date. You don't even know if you're right for each other yet.
You don't even know if she has good Gundam opinions or not, Mao.
Yeah. You gotta.
You always have to ask her if she likes Char's counterattack or not. But they go to watch the next match. China's gone because Ral asks. Rinko's gone. Ral asks China where Rinko is, and China's like, "Well, Sei and Reiji aren't fighting today, so she went shopping." And Ral's like, "Oh, okay." He's sad. But it's Kawaguchi and it's the Bernardo brothers, and it's like this very rainy, ruined city.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very moody and very mysterious.
Very gray. Because the enemy is a sniper, Meijin Kawaguchi is just going around shooting like various tall buildings that could be used as good sniping locations.
He just has Alan tell him where the tallest buildings are, and he starts blowing the fuck out of them. Which, hey, that works pretty well. I suppose you can't get a good vantage point on an exploded skyscraper. And we see then why the Gym Sniper K9 is called that, because it sends in the Hound, which is just its backpack on legs.
Yeah, it's a Boston Dynamics robot.
That is exactly what my notes say. It's just one of those fucking things. You gotta kick it down, disable that shit.
And so they're like shooting at it, the fight continues. Sorry.
Yeah, they're shooting the brothers. The Gym's shooting at Kawaguchi. The Hound shooting at Kawaguchi. They shoot off like the Comfort has these giant like binders on its like ankles, kind of like where it's all its weapons are, and they shoot one of them off as he kind of like jumps up to charge at them like in midair, and it lands like in the middle of this town square. And eventually, as he's like dodging everything, he kind of has to retreat into this like crumbling arena ruins. It looks really similar to the stadium that the White Base hid inside.
Yeah.
Back in 0079. But of course, that's right where the brothers want him. And even Kawaguchi's like, yeah, I'm definitely just falling into the trap right now. And the Bloodhound splits apart again. So it's like a backpack that splits into two, because like this kind of like troop carrier flies off from it. And we see it's full of little dudes.
Just a bunch of little guys. It's their birthday. They're gonna throw a party.
Yeah, it's their
an explosive party.
They're just little buddies. They're little birthday elves, and they fly around and they stick bombs on all of the Comfort's joints, and they fly off. And this gigantic explosion rocks the arena, and Kawaguchi's fine. Like he's just kind of chilling, because he reveals, and like when the brothers look at him and realize what happened, you see his joints, and like they just kind of look a little bit more greenish and a little bit more like shimmery. So at first I thought he was like, oh, he had reinforced his joints so the bombs wouldn't hit him. No, he just smeared grease on them.
Just sprayed a little bit of WD-40 on all of them.
Yeah. He dunked him in extra virgin olive oil, so he just kind of like
loosening up those joints.
Oh yeah, I got stretched real good. And he just kind of like swiveled the Comfort around to like fling the bombs off of it. So they're fighting, and Kawaguchi comes in for melee. And it turns out that cool backpack and the little guys aren't the only tricks that the Gym Sniper K9 has up its sleeve, because it also breaks out the exam system. Which is very cool, because its visor glows red. It's like exam. What the fuck even was it? It wasn't made by New Type. No, that's right. It mechanizes New Type abilities into the mobile suit itself. It makes it better and faster. It's like the fucking transform, basically.
It's an install.
Yeah, there you go. It just means it's really fast, and the Comfort is getting like slashed up and shot, and like the little bloodhound is like skating around, shooting at him. The brothers once more talk about how they're going to prove that Kawaguchi is not worthy of the Meijin title with their war. And that's, I guess, like saying that is enough to make everyone kind of amazed. Like, oh, it's a Gunpla war. I don't really get it, but whatever. I mean, I guess everyone just wants to have regular battles and not weird wars where it's just still one-on-one battle. Hard to say.
Yeah. Wars are bad, but, battles are fine.
War is bad. Wow, cool battle. And as like Alan's like, oh fuck, dude, Kawaguchi's gonna lose, this is so bad. Kawaguchi speaks up and says, some things are left to fate, and the outcome is inevitable. And he like blasts his thrusters forward, kind of rocketing himself back to where he dropped his weapon pack, and he pulls out like a spiked Gatling gun and just pumps that thing full of lead. Like the gym is just covered in holes and explodes. And the brothers are like, but the hound is still in play. And if I was the ref and like the main Gunpla got obliterated and just the backpack was left alive, I don't know. The pilot's not going to be in the backpack in real life.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think that wins. That's a win.
There was also there was the first fight between the Build Strike and then Zaku Amazing.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's the Bloodhound thing, and even then, the Comfort like retreats and grabs a different weapon and just like pew blasts it with the beam rifle. And he's like, "This isn't a war. We're not brothers. This is a Gunpla battle," and he wins. Yay!
This isn't a war. It's something far less serious. Stop taking it so seriously, you nerds.
But he's even though he wins, he's like really fucking mad at himself because he let his machine take so much damage. He says he's failed as a Meijin. I really like. We know what the Meijin is, I think, but it is still. I don't know. He's taking it a lot more seriously than he maybe needs to. Either way, that's kind of the end. And we get the credits, and after the credits, we see Baker. She's calling Mashita, and she's saying, "Don't worry, Sei and Reiji are definitely going to lose next round because their opponent is early genius, the samurai boy." And we see Nils meditating. So we're gonna get a fucking pretty cool sword fight next week, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And that's the episodes.
Apparently that last fight was a lot more reminiscent also of 8th MS Team, with the Camphor backing up in order to get that chain mine weapon it used against the Alex.
Right, yeah. I guess we haven't ever seen the Amazing of the Chain Mines, which is like, that's the Camphor's thing. I do like how they always show it kind of like how it can hover, like fly over the ground very low to it. It's very cool.
Yeah, I like that detail in MS Saga, because you can get I think it's both Camphor legs and the, Dom legs that can also do the little hover skate thing?
The Dom legs, they do the skating.
Yeah, it does change your running animation to that too. It's just really neat.
So good. I love that as choice. Well, that's the episodes. So what I did is I went on behindthevoiceactors.com, my favorite website, and I've pulled a voice for Beyond Toon World.
You're going to love this. Trust me. Beyond Toon World!
All right.
This is Tokuyoshi Kawashima, who is the voice of one Takashi Iori. I already forgot his name. We're doing Sei's dad because he's pretty notable in a lot of very funny ways.
All right.
Not really anything in the bio. He was born February 8th, 1973 in Tokyo, so he's an Aquarius. And he's been active since 1996. So he's done a good amount of stuff. He's been active. He didn't really start to do a lot of anime until the early 2000s. But he did voice Terry McGinnis in the Japanese dub of Batman Beyond, which is pretty cool. He was Casey Jones in like several of the TMNT shows that were dubbed in Japan. This one's good. In 2004 movies Bionicle Legends of Metru Nui, he's Toa Nuju.
Great. I love Nuju.
Or wait, was Nuju?
Nuju was the Ice Toa.
Yes, okay, yeah, I always confuse Nuju as the old one and Motoro as the young one who gets to do this cool trick at the end. In 2004's anime Mega Man.exe, he is Yuichiro Hikari, the creator of Mega Man. He's Lan's dad.
Yeah.
In 2007's Gundam 00, he is Klaus Grad. Gotta shout out the other Gundam roles, of course. He's Rydell in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, who I believe was one of the Rush Valley Automill engineers that Winry hangs out with. I'm currently watching that show and I don't remember him, so that shows how important he is. In the 2013 Pokemon ONA Origins, he voices Lance, who's the final Elite Four member. In the 2014 dub of Big Hero 6, he's Baymax.
Great. Good for him.
Funny little robot balloon. I don't know why this one's funny. He voices Chappie in that 2015 movie Chappie about the robot.
Oh, I'm pointing at the screen and I'm saying that's Chappie.
That's Chappie. That's Say's dad. In 2016 anime of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, he's Tonio Trendy.
Okay, that's a lot. That makes a lot of sense.
He has the energy for it.
Yes, like he has a huge passion, and then he gets really angry if people, like in JoJo's case, going into the kitchen without washing your hands.
Yeah, again, hey, that is worth getting angry over. Don't spread germs, Josuke. 2016, Pokemon Generations, another ONA, he's Colress, who is the funny Team Plasma guy with the blue hair swish, who's not really a villain, he's just a scientist. And in 2018, and I guess also 2022, the God of War reboot games, he voices Sindri, who's one of the Dwarven Smiths, who you get to, like, one of 5 characters in that first game.
Great.
And these ones, so those were the kind of animated dubbing roles. He's done a lot of live-action dubbing as well. A lot. Like, 3 times as much live-action dubbing as his anime stuff.
Yeah. The most prominent one I'm seeing is he played the 11th Doctor in the dub of Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He's dubbed over James Vanderbeek in a ton of his roles, notably Dawson's Creek and Varsity Blues. He was the villain. He dubbed Peter Sarsgaard in Green Lantern, the bad movie. He dubbed Heath Ledger in The Patriot. He dubbed Michael Fassbender and Steve Jobs as Steve Jobs. He dubbed Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac. And these are the 2 most... I mean, I say important. These are the ones that gave the most reaction out of me, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
In the Fast and the Furious movies, he dubs over Han.
Great.
Our beloved friend Han, played by Sung Kang, who died and then came back. And the funniest thing of all, he's the Peppa Pig narrator.
Great.
So, Peppa Pig narrator is also a fucking Gundam cop. Do with that information what you will.
Makes sense
And that's
to me.
Tokiyoshi Kawashima. I was pretty impressed at how cool the roles he had. But that will kind of just about do it for this one. Before we do plugs, Yuria, what's the robot of the week?
Oh boy. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to give it to my the TriStar Zaku 2 Origin.
Yes.
Specifically Ortega's version with the massive battle axe.
I love the axe. It's just, again, we were talking before recording about how, like, big axes and polearms are just very cool weapons.
They are.
And yeah, hard to go wrong with an axe whose blade is, like, half as tall as you are. And also the Black TriStars have, like, one of the best Gundam color schemes for my money.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, I'm really short on green kits, but, like, I really wanted to get this one. It is probably my favorite high-grade build of all time.
The Origin high grades are, like, nuts. They're so much fun to put together.
Yeah, they are, like, nearly real grade levels, which is appropriate because most of them cost near that level, but...
Yeah! I won a Twitter giveaway from a different Gundam podcast months ago, and I got an Origin Zaku 2, and I was putting this thing together, and I'm like, am I putting together a real grade? Like, it's impressive. The level of detail they etch onto them, especially, like, the legs, oh my god, it's incredible. It's astounding.
Yeah, I love panel lining this, although also I will say I'm glad it wasn't a real grade Zaku, because...
oh, good luck finding all the tubes. You won't. You will lose half of them.
Yeah, I kinda did.
Yeah.
Well, not half of them, but... Ugh.
Yeah, that's why they give you so many extras, because they're like, yeah, these things are gone.
Yep.
Well, good choice. And that will bring us to plugs. Dan, how about you start? Where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at a lot of places. You can find all those places at biggerchallenge.card.co. That includes Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We recently just finished recording the very last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh GX.
Wow.
We'll be recording a wrap-up episode soon. Look forward to that finale. Next year we start on Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. You can listen to the Sonic Shuffle, Sonic podcast that I do with Morg and Devin. I've been putting off editing and uploading episodes, but we've got a couple in the pipe. We've got some Sonic Boom. We've got some Sonic Underground. We're about to record a Sonic X episode after this recording. You can listen to Video Games, the movie, the podcast, a video game movie review podcast I do with my friend Maxie. I need to edit and upload our episode on Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. Very fun movie. And our next episode will be on the live-action Warcraft film. You can listen to... no, wait, that's everything. Okay, you can also visit my Twitter and Tumblr, which are both Bigger Challenge. My co-host, Big Challenges. Art blogs, like the one on Tumblr, Biggest Art, or on co-host, Big Challenges Art. There's my Fur Affinity, Big Challenges. There is Twitter, at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. Happy Hanukkah, Xbox.
Happy Hanukkah.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
And how about you, Yuria?
I'm on Twitter at YourGalYuria. I'm on co-host at Just Yuria. My plug is the 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard campaign is releasing the final episodes. Last week we released the winter episode, which is basically our big conclusion to the overarching arc of our campaign that we paid for like 5 years. And today recording Sunday, the first of our epilogue episodes released. It is the gay wedding time, as per tradition of actual play podcasts.
Yeah.
And it is a two-parter because we just had so much to do.
Mowage.
But yeah, if you haven't listened to the 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard campaign, it is pretty much now complete. And the last episode is going up next Sunday, which will be the very last Mouse Guard episode. There's also plenty of other campaigns and one-shots there too.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And I'm Max. You can find me on Twitter at MaxyBajillion. Like Dan mentioned, listen to Pod of Greed. Next year is going to be the year of 5Ds. I'm so excited. You can also listen to Slappers Only and Nevermind the Trollocs, my podcasts that are on a bit of a hiatus. You can go to twitter.com at WowCoolPodcast to find us, co-host at WowCoolRobot. Join our Discord, which links are in the episode description and Twitter header. This show is hosted on Noisepace.xyz, a podcast incubator. Come hang out. There's a lot of other really cool shows to listen to on the network. And that will just about do it for this week. So, to close, buy our toys!
Wow, cool robot!
I'm about to buy where the fuck are my Gunpla USA Gundam store? Bye!
Bye.
Goodbye.